What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with another A to Z of Ark for you all today, and today we are taking a look at the Mosasaurus. Now guys, this is the behemoth of the depths, and he's found pretty much on every map with an ocean. Now that includes the island at the center, Ragnarok, Valgiro, Crystal Isles, Genesis Part 2, and the Lost Island. Now as well as that, he does have an X variant, which is found on Genesis Part 1. So definitely tame these guys up on Genesis Part 1 if you have the capacity to, because they are much cooler and better looking. Plus, it's just a lot easier with the water on Genesis Part 1. Now, when it comes to taming these guys or just straight out killing them, your best bet is to use something just as big. So I would recommend a Tuso or a Plesiosaur if you do want to go ahead and kill these. They do have an alpha variant, which obviously will try and attack you if you get too close to it. And they are one of the strongest creatures in the games in terms of non-bosses. So you will need a Tuso or another Mosa or Plesios to kill a Mosasaur. Now, in order to tame it, you will need a crossbow because it is underwater, and you will need trank arrows. Now, there's a couple of ways you can go about getting this guy knocked out. First off, I would recommend utilizing the depth mechanic, whereas if you swim up to a certain depth, the Mosasaurus will not attack you, and it's possible that we are at this depth now, because he does not seem to be very keen on attacking us. I would say we are definitely at that depth, because he doesn't seem to want to attack us. And pretty much what you need to do is you just need to keep swimming up until it swims back down, and just keep repeating that process until it eventually gets knocked out. Now, another thing that you can do to try and make yourself a little easier to tame on this guy is to set up some behemoth gateways. You need about 4 of them. Set them up very similarly to your griffin traps and put the gates on them, and you'll be good to go. And you can trap it inside of that. It will probably result in you dying once or twice, but that's fine as long as you can get back down there to the Mosasaurus and then just continue tranking it out. Now, one final method that you can utilize as well is to kite it towards a cave entrance where it will get stuck in the cave entrance trying to eat you, and then you can just simply knock it out using your crossbow, heck, even a long neck depending on what cave you are located and kiting it to. So I'm not sure why this guy isn't keen on attacking us, but generally you'll have a lot more struggles when it comes to trying to tame these guys underwater. But my go-to method is to bring a tame with you and simply surface a little bit when it does get sight of you and tries to attack you. And that is the best method I have found to tranking these guys out. And there we go, you can see there he's trying to get the snap on us, and he's unable to swim up any further because of that depth mechanic. Now, these guys will require a lot of trank arrows to knock out. As well as that, I would recommend bringing multiple crossbows because your crossbows can break. Now, I would say for a max level Mosasaurus, you're going to need about 200, 250 trank arrows to get it knocked out. These guys have an insane amount of torpor, and you will also need narcotics or biotoxin, depending on your taming rates obviously as well. But these guys do have a lot of torpor, and it does drain relatively fast. So you will need to make sure that you bring enough resources and everything to tame this one up. Well, at the very minimum, knock it out at least, because you definitely do not want to spend the time it takes going ahead and knocking out another one of these. Now, once you've successfully knocked out your Mosasaurus, you do have a couple of options to go about taming it, and the best way would be exceptional kibble. Now, obviously, if you don't have access to kibble, the next best thing will be raw mutton. Now, you do have enough time to surface, go to the highlands or wherever it is that you're located, find a sheep, and come back and feed it. Now, like I mentioned, they do have a crap ton of torpor, and you can see there that it does drain very fast. So what you want to do is you want to wait for its torpor to drain a little bit, at least maybe like 2-3, depending on how much mutton you actually need to go out and get. So you let it drain 2,000, 3,000, and then what you do is you pump it full of the narcotics or biotoxin, very similarly to how you tame up gigas. Now, essentially what this does is it buys you a whole bunch of extra time. So you can see here we're at about 16,000 torpor. If we pump the biotoxin into the Mosasaurus, you will want to do it in stacks as well, you'll see here that it will buy us an extra bunch of time. So pretty much what will happen now is its torpor will gradually increase, and this increase is much slower than what it drains as. So you could essentially wait here until it's about halfway, chuck about 300 to 400 biotoxin into it, and you will not have anything to worry about for quite a long time because they'll be asleep peacefully and their torpor will slowly refill. This is the best method to go about taming up Mosasaurus depending on your rates, especially for official servers, because official servers will have slower rates than the other servers. But that is essentially all you need to know in order to tame up the Mosasaurus. Now, once tamed, you have a couple of different options here. It does have 3 different saddles, and those include the Mosasaur saddle, the Mosasaur platform saddle, as well as the Mosasaur tech saddle. Now, each of these do have different level requirements, as well as tech engram required, and different crafting costs. You can see here on the Mosasaur saddle, you will need a smithy, 140 cementing paste, fiber, hide, metal, and silica pearls. As for the platform saddle, you will need significantly more metal, cementing paste, fiber, hide, and more silica pearls. And then the tech saddle requires even more resources at 140 black pearls, 370 crystal, 55 element, 2,500 metal ingots, and 500 polymer. Now, each of these saddles have their own uses. Obviously, the standard saddle is just for riding around on your Mosa, chilling and doing what he needs to do. And the platform saddle actually allows you to build on the back of the Mosasaur, which is great if you want to have a portable base that you can build on and you can chill around with it underwater and everything like that. And it's really good, obviously, because you can use it to light forges and everything like that, set up in an underwater cave and have a underwater base. Essentially, it's really good and really cool. Now, as well as that, the tech saddle does require element, so keep that in mind, and it is unlocked by defeating the Alpha Broodmother. So you will need to defeat the Alpha Broodmother in order to unlock this, but let's go over the Mosasaur's attacks. So unfortunately, it only has one attack, and that is its bite ability. Now, I do apologize for the red hue around the screen. It is a bug of the Mosas that I've found more than once, that when you actually tame them up, they still gain torpor if you've pumped torpor in them, which is unfortunate. So the Mosas attacks actually scale with their melee damage as well. So if you see here, you'll notice it says 257.7% melee damage. If we level it up, we will now hit for 266. The Mosa is one of the only creatures in Ark that has a 1-to-1 melee damage ratio scaling. Now, obviously, it's not going to show up on these Megalodons because they are mate boosted and the bastards just have to ruin my video. But the moment we get rid of the mate boost, you'll see here that our Mosa will hit for 266. Except now, instead of a mate boost, they have a pack boost. Are we actually going to be able to kill these Megalodons and showcase to you the 266 damage? Yes, we are. And nope, never mind, we're not. You can see there 253. So I'm not entirely sure what's stopping it from reaching the maximum amount, but the Mosasaurus is one of the only creatures that has a 1-to-1 damage ratio. So for example, we will hit for 333 damage if we find something to attack. Let's see, we got this angler right here. Maybe I'm mistaken. I could have sworn they had a 1-to-1 ratio. Doesn't look like that's the case though at the moment. So that is all the Mosa has going for it in terms of abilities and uniqueness. It does have its tech saddle, and you can fire tech blasts by hitting the control key or your thumbsticks to activate this mode, in which case you can start firing element blasts underwater as well. Now, in terms of uses for the Mosasaur, he has a phenomenal amount of weight, one of the best weights on a creature in the water, as well as that health is also one of the largest health pools in the entirety of Ark. So you can definitely go ahead and use this guy to deal damage to anything you find underwater. Alpha Tusos, normal Tusos, Alpha Mosasaurs. Just make sure you've got a relatively decent leveled Mosasaur that you possibly don't mind losing against an Alpha Tuso because they can grab you. If you do have enough health, you have nothing to worry about, and a decent saddle, you should be a-okay. But as well as that, they can also be used to ferry resources back and forth. Like I said, they have a shit ton of weight, so you can transfer anywhere from metal, oil, anything like that. As well as that, they also can be used as wall mounts in PvP because of their tech saddle utilization, high health, high damage. They're obviously going to deal a lot of damage and soak a lot of damage from whatever it is that you decide to take them up against. So that is everything that you need to know about the Mosa. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe down below for more. But other than that, guys, I will catch you in the next one.